And we are live. Hello there, folks. It's been a little bit. I'm your host, DokDeino. It's been, I think, about a month since I last streamed. Maybe a bit longer.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But good
And I'm
news.
joined by the lovely Ember this evening. How are you, Ember?
Hello. I'm still alive.
I mean, that's good.
It's something anyway. But yeah, good news. The doctor is in.
At least for a bit. Aye. And should be an interesting stream tonight. So gonna give it a few minutes for people to start filtering in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it takes a minute for announcements and things.
yeah. As people can probably see by the title of the stream, this is a fundraiser.
What?
This summer, I know, right? This summer, I'm hoping to go on an expedition to Wyoming. I fully intend to do it. I've been picking up a lot of extra hours to build up money, but you know, a little extra cushion is always appreciated.
For sure. Yeah, you've been
I
running. Well, I mean, you've been away from YouTube for a minute, but the fundraiser has been running this whole time. Has it been going very well?
Well, I've got about $80 from 2 donations.
It's a start, I suppose.
It's a start. It definitely could be worse.
That's true. Very, very
Yes.
true.
And if anyone in the audience wants to make any donations over the course of the stream, they are in the description.
Yeah, I see. There's a Cash App, there's a Venmo, and a GoFundMe. That's the main fundraiser, and I'll just drop that in the chat there, so it's easy for people to find.
Grazie,
but of course,
grazie.
in the description.
Yeah. I wanted to have a few different ways that people can donate. Just felt it might make things easier, especially since I'm not monetized yet, so no super chats or anything.
Yeah,
so that would
that's
probably help.
Well, pluses and minuses. Super
Yeah,
chats are a great and easy way for people to send you money, but as you may be aware, YouTube takes 30%, and you have to wait at least a month before they give it to you.
Oh, I didn't know about the month thing. That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's
I at
knew
least a month. You
cut.
have to have $100 or more balance that you've made. So, like for example, when I had to go back over the road, and it was just the pre-recorded content while I was gone, a bunch of members left. There were no super chats because there were no live streams, and so I only made like $60 that month. So I didn't get a payout that month. I had to wait till the next month when I came back and was doing live streams again, and the balance YouTube owed me exceeded $100.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's a fascinating beast we've decided to make a hobby, isn't it?
Well, you know, it has its quirks, it has its downsides, like there's certain words you can't say, or the content bots will take you down. But
yeah,
on the flip side, look at the alternatives.
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of interesting beasts, though, hello, Titan. Hope your evening's going well.
It's a
Titan. We have a lazy cat in the chat too. All right, and it looks like people are starting to filter in. So,
hell yeah.
Sorry, just cracking my knuckles. I guess we can get into the plans. Because as it says in the description, there is a vague format to this video, to this stream. We're going to go over what my plans are for this expedition. We're going to explore a bit of the area that I'll be examining on foot. And then we're going to have probably the longest segment where we recreate an area called the Morrison Formation in Jurassic World Evolution 2. And that's mainly the place I'll be exploring. So that'll be fun. Anywho,
Yeah.
the expedition starts out simple. I'm currently in the planning phase. With the planning phase, you plan, you fundraise. I'm hoping to spend at least 2 weeks out there. Although, depending on how much I get from whatever fundraisers I can do, I might be able to spend more time out there. We'll have to see.
For
Fortunately,
sure.
it's not the longest drive in the world.
I
I'll be
know. I
going
was just
from.
thinking for you, it's. I
Hmm?
mean, they're big states, but it's only 2 states over.
Yeah, it feels longer than it is. Well, actually, I say it's like a 12, 14-hour drive.
Yeah, they're big states.
Yeah, like, people call Iowa a flyover state. You don't realize how big it is until you have to drive across it. And it's just all corn all the way through.
Yeah, there many a time I'd wake up on the west side of Chicago because it takes an entire day to get through Chicago, and
Oh, yeah.
I'd make it through Iowa and end up somewhere in Nebraska. If I was really gunning it and had good traffic and little construction, I might make it to North Platte, but usually not quite that far.
Yeah. And sorry, apparently north needs to be redefined, so I guess we'll be looking at it inverted.
Okay, we're going with Australian North today. I'm sure Mark Reed will approve when he gets around dropping by.
Oh, why
It's
not?
a little early for him. He's probably just getting his coffee now.
True, true. Anywho, so yeah, planning, fundraising. Um, I I will say I will be doing this expedition, regardless of however much I make from the fundraiser. But more helps, and helps me do more things. And as it says in the description of this video, whatever's left over of what I've made will be donated at the end of this. So if y'all want to make a donation to a museum by proxy, feel free to donate to me. The link to the museum is also in the description if you just want to go ahead and donate directly there. Or
There's
to
a
your local
lot of
museums.
info in that description.
Yes, it's it's a lengthy description. I wanted to leave as little out as possible because, so the streams stay up after they're done. Anyway, this next week, I'm getting my car in the shop to make sure it's fully ready to make the trip. And then the drive begins. So, I'm not going to, well, at least not yet, I'm not going to say what the city I'm in is, but we'll just go with the capital of Iowa, which is Des Moines. So right over here. And we're going to go to Greybull, Wyoming, which is roughly my destination. Let's see if it will... Will it do a line? Okay, Google Earth decided to brick itself, so I guess we're going with Google Maps. Oh! Nope, there it goes! Oh, but it inverted itself. Oh dear.
What?
Anyway, as people can see, going from here, roughly, ish, to here. So it's about a 14-hour drive. Either across South Dakota or across Wyoming. Might do South Dakota, because, I wouldn't say no to a quick stop by Badlands. Badlands is a pretty neat place.
Badlands is so fucking cool. And also the fact that you can just drive through makes it... I mean, yes, you can get out and look at things up close, but you can just drive through, so it's super easy access.
Yeah, I would recommend walking through. They have a lot of really good trails. In fact, a lot of the trails have boxes with fossils that were just found where the box is. And then they built the trails so people can walk out and see them. It's really neat. Yeah. From Iowa, we go to Wyoming. a nice barren wasteland that's actually a little more convoluted than people usually give it credit for.
Oh yeah.
There are mountains out there after all.
Oh, for
Actually, I'm
sure.
gonna.
Yellowstone, Devil's Tower.
Mhm. Yes, Devil's Tower is awesome. I really like Devil's Tower.
Me too.
Although
It's sick.
uh, I am going to turn off. Oh, where's the whatever? Turn off some of the towns at least, so it's a little less cluttered. But we're going to an area of Wyoming known as the Bighorn Basin. It's this sort of divot you can see in the landscape.
Okay.
If you're familiar with paleontology at all, then you probably know that this area is really important. Um, a lot of very famous dinosaurs have been found in this area. Dinosaurs like Big Al, which I've talked about before on this channel, super complete Allosaurus, and a bunch of other things too. We have Apatosaurus from here. We have Brachiosaurus. We have, I think, a juvenile Brachiosaurus from somewhere in this area, which is pretty neat. Actually, that might be a bit farther south. And a lot of Camarasaurus, which might turn out to be more what we're looking for. But if you zoom in even further, on the northeast corner, you come to the towns of Greybull and Shell. Now, Greybull and Shell are both, again, very important to the history of paleontology. There's a lot of exposures of dinosaur-bearing rocks around here.
Why is
If you've
that?
heard of the Bone Wars, part of the Bone Wars was fought in this area, although a lot of it was more in Kansas and Colorado. I believe the Bone Wars made it up here. I could be mistaken about that. Asterisk.
Bone
But
Wars being when
north,
paleontologists were fighting over stuff to stick in their museums.
yes, it was a big member measuring contest, basically,
Aha.
between
Who could get
Othniel
the most
Charles
heads?
Marsh and Edward Cope. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of stuff to see in this area. And I will be staying in this area as well. I have a place to stay for the duration of the expedition, so there's that. I've already worked that out. And the area I'll be studying is mostly up here. Now, this white outline is something called the Coyote Basin. It is an exposure of some Jurassic and Cretaceous rocks, and there's been a lot of dinosaurs pulled out of this particular area. A lot of famous ones. Most of them originating from a place called Howe Quarry. That's where most of, well, I'm not sure I should say most, a lot of the big important dinosaurs at like the American Museum of Natural History were found. All in this area. A lot of sauropods from a big bone bed in particular.
So why are there so many cool bones in this particular region?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. The Morrison Formation lasted for a very long time. It has very thick exposures of rock. Like it looks complicated from a sky-high view, but like say these hills up here, this cuts down into about the middle of the Morrison. These can get pretty high. Like from the bottom, about 4,910 foot elevation. Up here, 5,100. So now this does bleed into the Cloverleaf Formation, which is an overlying formation of the Morrison. But it's still pretty thick. And it's also the type of environment that is very conducive to fossilization. most of the Morrison is one big floodplain, at least in this area. So you get a lot of dinosaurs getting buried, like living full lives, getting buried, and eventually getting brought up by the formation of the Rocky and Bighorn Mountains, which are, these mountains over here. They're what give the Bighorn Basin its name. But for about 2 weeks, or however long I'm able to stay out there, I'll be combing through most of this area, at least the public lands, because there are private lands mixed in here. If I want to go on them at all, I have to contact the landowners, which is a bit more complicated. But, so,
hey, can I
for anyone who doesn't know, yeah,
we can.
For anyone who doesn't know or hasn't read the description, the purpose of this expedition is to try and find the original dig site that some fossils at my institution were discovered at. We know they were found in this place, in the Coyote Basin. We just don't know where within it. So before I head out there...
That's a lot of real estate.
A little bit. But fortunately, can narrow some of it down. Because a lot of the Coyote Basin is Cloverleaf, not Morrison. And I know because of the fossils I'm working with, I'm looking for Morrison strata. So that does cut down quite a bit of this. In addition, there have been many excavations in this place, and by reading through their records, I can kind of check them off the list, so to speak. Help narrow things down even further.
Yeah.
And I haven't finished mapping anywhere near all of this yet. I do intend to before I head out there, though. Once that's done, just start combing. It does look like a lot of land, and it kind of is, but it's basically, I think, a 2 to 3 mile equilateral triangle. Actually, you know what? This is... Let's see. Measurements. Okay, so it's about a 10 square mile area. Now that is, again, lessened because I'm just looking at Morrison exposures. I can't go on private land without permission. And I do have a map showing what is private versus public land. So
do you know if... Well, I guess it wouldn't matter if the bone that you're working from to find its other pieces, parts, if it was found on private land originally. But of course that was 100 years ago, so whether that
about
land
60
was private or public could have changed.
That is true. It could have been public at the time and then bought by someone, but we don't know that for sure until we find it. And that is also part of why I'm wanting to go on this expedition. If our fossils were found on private land, then they might belong to someone else. And part of being a responsible caretaker of fossils is making sure they stay with their rightful owners.
But the good news is, even if you don't track down what you're looking for, there's a really good chance that you'll find something cool.
Oh yeah, this area is stuffed full of dinosaurs. Let me just see. As image. I'm trying to find...
I wish we could fund you the way, with Milo Rossi comparable funding, so you could actually catalog your travels every day.
I mean, that'd be nice.
That's a lot of data, though.
It is, but I am working on narrowing it down. and I'm hopeful. And even if I don't find the original site, which is a possibility, the Bureau of Land Management allows limited collection of non-fossil minerals and rocks from public land. So, hopefully I can find something worth donating out there. Now let's see. I am working on getting some images set up of the fossils I've been working with. Fair warning to the people who see them, they are a bit smashed up. That is not my fault.
It was
They
gravity.
were not very well cared for. Let's say that. Almost done.
Searching. File loading.
More so selecting. There we go. Now I just gotta share them to myself. Yes, and
I do that all the time. I'm constantly sending myself files.
Yeah, I mean, it works. Oh, yeah, and Dapper Dino shared the link to this stream on his channel. So thank you, Dapper, if you see this.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I guess we're getting some people filtering in from his audience too, which if you're new here, welcome. I am not Dapper Dino. I am Dr. Dino, or Doc for short. I am not an actual doctor. The name is entirely a parody on Kent Hovent. Because I feel... I don't think it's a bad thing if he gets parodied.
I mean, Dapper frequently does streams with Benthoven, whose, name is also a parody of the same creature. Although he makes much better music than Kent does.
Really? I have not listened
appeared.
to it.
The links are in the description. There's all kinds of options. I can paste the main fundraiser again, but there's also Cash App and Venmo.
Yeah, there are options. And is that the sinister porpoise?
Yes. As opposed to the dexterous porpoise.
True. That is an option.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, welcome, porpoise. Mm-hmm. And now I got the images.
And Dennis Hovind has appeared.
Yes, I see. I can share images. So, for those who are curious, who like what it looks like on the inside of a fossil jacket, those big plaster casts we put on bones to keep them safe. This is what a semi-decent one looks like. This is rock on the inside of the jacket. The bone is on the very bottom, supported by some foam, kind of like a yoga mat, actually. This is what it looked like when I first opened the jacket, and then I had to start digging through it, which took a bit of time. Actually, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks of work before I made it down to the bone itself. Just picking out tiny chunks of rock with a pair of tweezers.
Oof.
And somehow it's the work I live for.
I know. I'm like, this is what you chose to do. I mean, I'm not one to talk. I drive a truck and pick up heavy things all day long.
Yeah. Like,
yours at least has a scientific purpose.
Sometimes. If anyone ever tells you anything different, paleontologists are all crazy people.
That's fair.
We kind of have to be. But yeah, after a couple weeks of work, I finally hit some bone. So this is the what I would write in a paper as the distal end of of a humerus. So that means it's the humerus, your upper arm bone, and it's the far end of it where it would connect with the elbow. I uncovered that first and started, picking at more, just exposing more and more bone. And eventually, eventually, I got quite a bit of it out. So this is the humerus of a juvenile sauropod. For anyone who is not familiar, though I can't imagine many people aren't, sauropods are the long-necked, long-tailed dinosaurs, the really big ones. And again, this is from a juvenile. For a sense of scale, it is about 2 feet long, or 2/3 of a meter in length. And that's just the humerus, and it's actually kind of crushed. This unlucky bone was sitting along what would eventually become a fault line, or across what would eventually become a fault line, and you can kind of see that here. So the far elbow joint end of the bone was just kind of shoved up into the rest of the humerus, kind of crushing it. Yeah, kind of rough. So it's.
Can you tell if any of that is pre-mortem or post-mortem? Or, I mean, it's likely that it's shit that happened to the bone after it was a bone, possibly after it was mineralized. But
sure,
could you do forensics on it?
Yes, and I have. I've had a lot of time to work with this bone. As far as I can tell, this happened long after this bone became a fossil. You can't really see it super well in any of my photos, but this fault line actually extends throughout the rock that was surrounding the bone. So the same force smashed the bone and the rock surrounding it, kind of riddled them both with a ton of fractures.
It makes sense. Geology is not nice to bones.
It is not. If it was more perimortem, or around the time of death, it probably wouldn't be so splintered. Fresh bone, very fresh bone, is actually kind of flexible. It sort of has to be, so you're not constantly breaking it. And if it had dried out on the surface and then broke like this, you'd kind of expect the fractures to be more widespread. The way they are here, they're much more contained, as though the bone were encased in rock at the time, so it couldn't quite explode. Oh, and I do want to say, if anyone in the chat wants to join, feel free. If you have any dinosaur questions you want to ask, feel free too. Though that said, if a donation comes in with a question, they get priority. Oh, and we have made $10. Looks like two $5 donations on the GoFundMe. Let's see, where
Computer
is
Scientist dropped 5, so Porpoise. There's donation perks in the description as well. $5 gets you can name a dinosaur in the gaming portion of the stream. What's that about? Are you gaming in a little bit?
I will be. Once we're through nerding out about dinosaurs a bit, I'm going to be building the Morrison Formation in one of the dinosaur games I play. So I can, show people what it was kind of like when it was the surface. So I hope you think up a name, Porpoise. Not sure if anyone else claimed a donation, but whoever did, let me know, and you can name a dino too. Because GoFundMe... yeah, there's an anonymous one, and Yeah, I'm not
Tyson did
gonna.
make a good suggestion earlier. That you should
He did.
name a dino in honor of that you should name it Hovindosaurus.
Ah, a whole new species. Yeah.
a new kind.
if only he. No, no, I'm not gonna give him that dignity. But good idea. Anywho, continuing on the nerding out. So as I said, this was on a fault line. That's why it's so squished. It's part of why it's so cracked. Though the cracking tends to happen a lot with a lot of bones from the Morrison. Probably didn't help that there was a bush growing on the bone. So there were roots all throughout this bone, splitting it apart. Which is not good for preservation. And then this photo.
Humerus batatmathicus. He probably is bad at math, TBH.
I'm not sure if it would fit in the name. I'll see if it fits in the name charts for the dinos in the game. Anyway, this is what the proximal end, or the like the shoulder joint end of the humerus looks like. Now this end is covered in big blocks of rock because it was buried in a concretion. For those who don't know, sometimes portions of rock or sediment can be re-cemented, meaning like calcite crystals will grow in the rock and harden up really tight. That happened here. Interestingly, it often happens when there's organic matter buried in the soil, because a lot of microbes / bacteria will release a lot of chemicals as they digest the organic matter, and that changes the chemistry of the soil. So this end might have still had some meat left on it when it got buried, though can't really say that for sure. It's just kind of a pet hypothesis. But it's really hard to get off because it's really strongly bonded to the bone, which is unfortunate. And then here's what the whole humerus looks like. And right down here are my main tools of destruction.
No rock hammer for scale?
No, that probably would have been a bit too rough.
That's what we call a callback to the streams of days gone by.
Hey, streams that'll be returning, along with many more. Actually, I'm hoping to do a lot of coverage on this. For anyone who donates, I sincerely appreciate your donation, and I'm going to be documenting every step of this expedition, from the planning to the execution itself to the analysis of data once it's done, so you know where your money is going.
Necessary. I'm pretty sure anything you find is going to already be dead.
Well, we need to be sure.
Well, that's fair.
Plus, these are... I mean, part of the treatment of the bones involves alcohol. So that's going to kill a lot of bacteria. So for anyone who's curious, when you dig up a bone out of the dirt, it actually tends to put it at risk of being altered by the elements. Oxygen is a very greedy element, and it tends to eat away at stuff. So you got to protect it once it's out in the open. There are a few common ways to do it, but the way I did with these bones, because there's another bone I'll be showing in a minute, is treatment with a chemical called Butevar. Butevar is... I don't remember if it's a polymer. I think it's a type of plastic. And it dissolves in stuff like alcohol and acetone, so nail polish remover.
Yeah,
And
I've
then
got
you can
some of
just,
that.
yeah, and then you can just paint it on whatever you want preserved. The alcohol or acetone helps it seep deep in there, and then it evaporates. But as it evaporates, it leaves the butvar behind, and it sort of fills in gaps and helps to seal the bone against, further damage. It's actually very useful. And if you can mix it in a few different ways. You can mix it so it's just a coating on top of the bone, or you can make it really thick so it's a lot more like an adhesive. It's very versatile material, and it's really good. Oh, sorry, I just realized that Porpoise asked a question, and I completely jumped over it. Could dinosaurs solve the P versus not P problem? I think they'd have better luck with the F versus NF problem, being a food or not food.
I have trouble with that one sometimes.
And if this is for me, will I be using Blast or K-Nearest Neighbor? I don't think so. There's not going to be a lot of stuff with computers going with this, except for words, except for recording stuff. And how will I know when I've found the dig site I'm looking for? That's a good question, Titan. So, there are a few things I can go off of. Just based on this bone and the jacket it was in, I know a few things. First, I know that it was excavated in about the mid 60s. Based on some numbers that were written on the jacket, they appear to, if I'm reading it right, it means that the bone was excavated in October 1st of 1965. I know that it was encased in a pale yellow/green siltstone, which is common, but only in specific members of the Morrison. So that really helps chop down my search area quite a bit. To add to that, there's going to be a big fault line going straight through the middle of the dig, or at least intersecting with it in some way. And it'll probably affect other bones at the site, which should be pretty obvious. And lastly, it'll be the remains of a juvenile sauropod. I'm not 100% sure what type of sauropod yet, but I know roughly the size it should be, and the bones will look a lot like these ones do. And juvenile sauropod remains aren't super common. So if I find a juvenile sauropod of about this size with all the other features, it's a pretty good chance that it's the same animal. Not certain, but the chances it's something else are kind of low. Let's see. I see we have an Al and we have a Maya. So hello, folks.
Yeah.
So that was
welcome.
That was an
now
exploration
we should remind
of
everyone.
Yes.
There are links to fundraiser stuff in the description. I can post the main GoFundMe, but there's also Cash App, Venmo, and you get perks for fundraiser things. And also, pinned in the side chat, there's a link to join the stream if you feel so inclined.
Yes, thank you very much, Ember. Thank you. Yes, this is a fundraiser
Patreon.
for...
I can plug that too.
I do, but I this is about raising money for Fieldwork. Well, that said, All of my Patreon income for the next few months is also going to this. So any donations there would also help, but it's up to people. Wherever you want to donate, folks, whatever money I get from my stuff as DokDeino is going to be going towards this expedition. And actually, I just remembered, on the GoFundMe is a picture of the original plaster jacket. So this is an outline of the other side of the humerus, which we were hoping would be in pretty good shape. And after pulling off the jacket, it looked like this.
Kind of resembles pig food.
Kinda. So you can see, yeah, the far end is pretty crushed, and there are cracks everywhere in this bone. It was an absolute nightmare trying to keep all of the fragments together because it all just wanted to fall apart.
I think I'd cry. I'd be like, "This is
I
a
did.
broken cookie jar," and you have to.
I did cry several times.
Yeah.
Because I just spent, I don't know, 50 hours painstakingly cleaning the other side, and then I managed to get it flipped over, and this is what greeted me. This bone has been through a lot. In fact, as I started to remove the jacket from this side, part of the upper end just fell off. It just fell off, and I had to reattach it.
I hate it when parts of my bones just fall off.
Yeah.
It really ruins the day. Also, I'm laughing at Tramp Stamp's comment.
Ah, dear. Yeah, the forbidden dog treat.
Nom nom.
Anyway, eventually I got it mostly fixed up. There are pieces of paper stuck to it. That is from tissue paper that was lining the inside of the jacket. It just, over the last 60 years, it fused to the bone. And it's going to take hours of very careful picking at it to get it off.
Yeah,
that's stuff I still have to do.
You could just spray it off or wipe it gently with isopropyl tips or something. But since the bone is basically made of dust at the moment, you gotta be more careful. Am I in a tunnel?
But,
I might be in a tunnel.
Oh, you're fine. But and then this is the side that my supervisor, who helped walk me through this whole process, once displayed to students, because it's a good lesson on being more careful at preparing a bone.
Yeah.
It also does feature a lot of diagnostic traits. It's a good area for study, and honestly, more study of this side could probably give us a pretty good idea of what it originally was. I did actually speak with a sauropod specialist who took a look at the bone and said it looks like it might belong to a group of dinosaurs that includes Diplodocus.
Ooh.
Which is pretty neat. A lot of people in the chat probably saw Dippy at some museum growing up. Especially if you're from the UK, they have a very famous one. More so that a lot of casts were made of it. Yeah, really long neck.
It's a giant snake with very tiny legs in the middle.
And then you walk up to it and you realize, oh, this thing is 20 feet tall at the hip.
It's Godzilla with dwarfism.
With a neck and a half. But anyway, he thinks...
This was the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Do you think it could talk?
Don't get them started on that. What, then his legs came off and it turned into Titanoboa?
Yeah, like became Leviathan from Revelations or something. I don't know.
Anyway, on a much smaller note, there were microfossils in with the humerus as I cleaned it, and I saved a lot of them, which is kind of neat. Not all fossils are huge. Some are really tiny. For a sense of scale, this pattern in the background is actually the strings of my wallet. So this whole chunk of bone here is, I think it's 3 millimeters long. It's absolutely tiny.
Can you identify what that's from at that scale?
Probably not. Actually, almost certainly not. But what I can say is that it has bite marks on it. Or at least what appear to be bite marks on it. See where this patch of light is kind of shining here? That's what is probably a groove from a bite mark. Can't say that for sure, but it's not alone. There's another one right next to it that you can't see super well in this image. But it looks like whatever this was, something bit it and dragged its teeth along the bone, carving those grooves, which is pretty neat.
Oh. But if this thing's only 3 millimeters across, it'd have to be something fairly small that did the chomping to have the teeth together, yes?
Possibly.
Unless it's more than one bite.
That's true. Can't say for sure, honestly. At least not without more data, but only real way to do that is sieve through all the rocks I have left over, because I kept all the rocks from that jacket in a huge bucket. And then we have a slightly bigger bone.
Slightly.
Which is not even all in frame because I'm bad at taking pictures.
Gotta send you to
this
a
is the
photography class, because how are you gonna document the history without like centering your shot?
Well, I thought it was centered. I'll rectify that by taking a lot of pictures, which I have taken. I just didn't at this particular moment. Anyway, this is a sauropod femur. So you're the leg bone connected to your hip. It is 5 feet long and weighs about 250 pounds.
That's about what my bones weigh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to finish cleaning this one, but I have made some progress in the last few weeks. As an example, this is what the far away end looks like, where the knee connects.
Ippy.
And for anyone who talked to me in the last couple months, you might know I am not very happy with how they prepared this one. They used way too much water in making the plaster for this bone, and it shows, because all of the inside of the jacket is filled with black mold, which
love it.
I have had to work with this whole time. Bit of a health hazard for anyone who doesn't know.
That damn bone is a microcosm of freaking life forms again.
Yeah, it's alive and deadly, and I've been painstakingly painting it in alcohol. With butyvar and alcohol.
Oh boy.
And thank you, Porpoise. Thank you a lot. Have fun on your stream.
For realsies.
And actually,
and
kind of on that note,
I'll drop the GoFundMe link again.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. We've been talking about dinosaur bones for a while. How would folks like to see some living dinosaurs? Kinda. Or at least more alive than what was just on screen.
So we're talking like straight up undead as opposed to necromancy stuff like we were just looking at?
Animated.
Ah.
Oh. I gotta fix my Steam settings. Oh dear. Oh, and yeah, black mold spores contain neurotoxin. Yes! Yes, they do! Which I assure you has been a never-ending source of stress for me for the past couple months.
It's cumulative, you say?
Yeah. For anyone who is worried, I have been taking a lot of precautions. I am fine. It's just, it was unexpected to find. Like, we didn't expect it to be filled with mold. But then we opened it up and it was.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that either.
Yeah. So a lot of the time I've spent working on the bones in the last few months has just been dealing with that. Alright. Got the game loading. Should be on screen here in a minute. So like I mentioned before, I'm going to be making the Morrison Formation in Jurassic World Evolution 2. It's a game I have a lot of fun with. Oh, come on now. Gotta make it the right size. Oh, come on, computer. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Yeah, I got it working, mostly. Now I just gotta show it.
Share the damn screen.
Yeah.
I clicked on Bree's link because I'm wondering if this might be Joe Rogan's 60-foot anaconda.
Oh yeah, I did see that. It's pretty neat. Anywho, we're gonna go ahead and make a sandbox park. Let's see, what would be a good analog? Probably this map, actually. Let's see here. Gonna make it so that the dinos don't kill each other, so there won't be any hunting, sadly. But this is more just ooh, thunder outside. This is more just a show off, like what the environment would have been like. Once again, for folks who have not heard, we're going to be exploring the Morrison Formation, particularly in Wyoming. So we're going to be seeing some pretty famous dinosaurs like Brachiosaurus, Allosaurus, stuff like that. And this map isn't quite perfect, but that could do a lot worse.
It's a start.
It's a
Literally,
start. How dare you? And of course, needless to say, there would not be any human presence here, but blah blah blah. Everyone, y'all already know that.
No human. Humans are too tasty.
Nope.
Now, Doc is in Iowa most of the time. Occasionally, Doc travels.
Yeah, I am gonna be in Iowa for a while. Well, at least for a bit.
Well, yeah, that's true. You could take another job. Who knows where?
Yeah. Okay. And for anyone who does play this mod or play this game, wow, I have a few mods installed, so that'll be interesting. Y'all have no idea what I'll be putting in here. But I suppose a good place to start. I mean, you can probably just go from the top. So the first dino we're gonna see, the first dinos we're gonna see are gonna be Allosaurus, which is the main predator, well, at most common predator that we find in the Morrison Formation. And if anyone has any dinosaur questions, I am happy to answer them, as always. Just feel free to fire them off. Oh, dear. Oh, yeah, tornadoes and thunderstorms from Texas to Iowa. Yeah, the weather's... Oh, there's the rain. If I do disappear, folks, I am probably alive. It's just... it's a little wet outside.
Slightly damp.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. Okay. So, get the dinos hatching. Yeah, well, getting ready, I guess. They'll be hatching soon. Got some interesting dinos in here. And I will say again, for anyone just joining us, if you want to name one of the dinos in the stream, that is one of the perks for donating $5 or more tonight. Which, actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and get that fundraiser up on my other screen so I can see it. We have made $10 tonight. Huzzah!
It's
all right.
StreamYard doesn't let us multiple windows. They have like a thing up in the corner and then just refresh it every so often.
Yeah.
Oh well. I gotta pop out for a little bit. I gotta get. I'll try to stop back. If
Sure
I can,
thing.
But it's
well,
been
you are welcome back. Yeah. Fair enough. You are welcome back anytime, and see you soon.
Yeah, and if anybody, once again, if anybody wants to jump in, the link is pinned in the comment on the top of the live chat.
Yeah, this is an open stream. Feel free to pop in. We can talk dinos. We can talk geology. Whatever you want to talk about, honestly. Although, if someone does make, I believe it's a $10 donation or more, they can choose a random or they can choose a tangent for us to go on. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. I'll probably see you in a while.
Yeah, right.
Whee.
Ooh, name every dino species in chronological order. I'm not sure if... no, Eoraptor isn't the oldest one still. But I know Eoraptor's around there, as is Herrerasaurus. Geez, there's a bunch of them. Sorry, there's a lot of interesting Triassic dinos. Oh, and we have a dino too big for the hatchery. So what's coming out right now is called Amphicoelius. It is a hypothetical dino. Well, it's a dinosaur based on one vertebra. One. It was a Bone Wars find. I believe it was found by Cope, Edward Drinker Cope. And this reconstruction is based on his guess that it was a Diplodocid. So a dinosaur like Diplodocus, which would have made it possibly the longest animal to have ever lived. Just absurdly massive. It's crazy. But we'll go ahead and make some plants for the herbivores to eat. Let's see. The Morrison has a few different environments preserved within it. I do know what I'm looking at least with my specimens, is a floodplain environment. Or a braided river system, which is something you'll probably hear a lot of in paleontology. To donate, Jester, there are links in the description. There is a GoFundMe link, there is a Venmo, and there is a... Oh, what's the other one? There's another option, that being Cash App. The donation tiers are also down there. Whatever you would like to donate is super appreciated. But I have some high goals down there because I am hopeful. And someone wants to force me to talk about Sailor Moon. To be honest, I don't know anything about Sailor Moon. That was someone else's thing. Anywho, we have another dino here. What's coming out of the hatchery now is a Apatosaurus, or deceptive lizard, which is an interesting name. Apatosaurus is known from a lot of remains from all over Western North America. And it's pretty big. It's actually a Diplodocid, so it's related to Diplodocus, which we will be seeing a bit later. But it's a lot more robust. It's a lot thicker, as some might say. Let's see, we have a few questions. Would dino legs taste delicious if we could barbecue them? Well, I would say so, considering a lot of people have barbecue chicken and seem to love it. Is there a beef between dino enthusiasts and croc enthusiasts? No, not really. They're not exactly studying similar animals, but it's... there isn't... Well, there are some beefs in paleontology because, we're all fighting for the same limited funding, but nothing systemic, I'd say. Crocodiles and dinosaurs get along pretty well, unless we find them in each other's stomachs. Oh, meaning as in which one is a cooler predator. That's more contentious. And, I mean, obviously, I'll probably say dinosaurs, but you'll get a different answer for everyone. And yes, Sumami, girthy is one way to explain Apatosaurus. And yes, they are quite vascular. There were some choices made in that modded design. We'll just say that. But next, we have Camarasaurus. Now, this dino here is one of the most common dinosaurs found from the Morrison. Oh, we have a donation. We have a donation. Oh dear. Well, Tsunami, you got your wish. Jester has donated $10 to talk about Sailor Moon. Geez. We also got. We just got a $50 donation on the GoFundMe too. No name on it. If whoever donated it wants to say who they are, feel free. I think $50. Let me just double check what I wrote down as the perk for that. Oh wow, I just heard my voice and I'm talking a bit too loud. Whoever donated that $50 can choose whatever song they want to add to my playlist while I'm doing fieldwork. Which, considering I'll have music going all the time, will be pretty constant. Dear. But yeah, if whoever did that wants to say who they are, let me know. Dear. What was I saying before? Yeah, Camarasaurus, very common. But we did get a donation for Sailor Moon. So everything I know about, or at least most of the stuff I know about Sailor Moon, is from like what little I picked up with, I'll just say, an older friend. I mean, some of the music's pretty good. I've heard the original opening theme song a few times, and I liked it every time. I think that's about all I have to say. Like it was never my cup of tea. Also, just queuing up some more dinosaurs here. Barbie Girl is a necessity for the soundtrack. Hey, if someone donates for that, then they can get it. And as for the donation tiers, there are 5. So if you donate $1, you can ask any question you want. That's appropriate for YouTube. $5 can name a dinosaur that in this portion of the stream where I'm gaming, just say what dino you want to name and what you want to name it. $10 can request a tangent on any, again, appropriate for YouTube, topic you want. $25, you can choose a sticker for me to put on my car while I'm out in Wyoming. All I ask is that you don't pick one that'll get me shot. And then $50 can add a song of their choice to the playlist I'll be listening to in the field. And it's at $50 because I am particular about my music. Doing this during lunch break and usually stay. Well, Regios, if that was you, if you, I mean, if no one else claims it, if you're claiming credit for the $50 dono, then you can choose a song to add to the playlist. Which I kind of fear. And yes, you can stack the perks. Getting, like, if you pay $25, you can choose a sticker and name a dinosaur and ask a question. Yes. Let's see. Up next for dinos, we're going to do Dryosaurus, which is an interesting little dino. Let's see, I guess if anything left I have to say about Sailor Moon? Hmm. I remember always thinking one of the Sailor Moon characters was cute when I was growing up. I think she had green hair. I don't know if that narrows any of it down at all. But I think I remember that. Sailor Neptune? Or maybe it was more like a blue-green hair, if that helps. I guess I'll just say again really quick. Stream is open for anyone who wants to join, so if you want to come help me talk about dinosaurs or anything, feel free. Oh, Neptune wasn't into dudes? Oh, right. It was Neptune and was it Uranus who they changed in the dub to be cousins instead of lovers? I could be wrong about that. I think I remember hearing something like that though. Anyway, new dino. This is Ceratosaurus. It's not as common as Allosaurus, but it's a smaller carnivore, and there's suggestions that it may have been more semi-aquatic, or at least more adept at semi-aquatic behavior, which is kind of neat. No, kind of more like a crocodile dino. Dapper, is Dapper here? I haven't seen him. Oh, we got more dinos. Let's go with some small ones. So again, here are some Dryosaurus. I know they look like, your basic little dinos, but they're pretty cool. They're just kind of little guys, and they make really cute noises. The sound should be coming through on the stream. I like the colors on this one. Oh yeah, Dapper is a Ceratosaurus. You're right, he is. Yeah, I like the color on this one. Huh. If anyone wants to name this cute little dinosaur, feel free to let me know. Just say you want to name the pretty one. That feels kind of mean to say. Ooh, you're kind of pretty too. Honestly, I think they have a lot of really good skins. Her name is Jennifer. It's $5 to name her Jennifer. And yes, the next up, Wetasaurus. I don't think there's an Aquasaurus in the game. But Dryo, actually in, I think, Latin, is tree lizard. Or, yeah, I think that's it. I understand, Tsumami, so am I. If anyone donates $5, it'll be named Jennifer. If they want it to be named Jennifer. Ooh, look at you! Like I just said, they don't have a lot of bad colors. This one is beautiful. I love that. And they make such cute noises too. Like little grumbles. Aww. And they look really cute and babyish. Oh wow, this one's stunning too. Gee, a whole bunch of stunners. Name one Kent and one R to make Arnie Kent. Okay, sorry, big boom of thunder. That'd be funny. Can't hear the game? No. Oh, that's StreamYard. Here, let me see. Let me see. No. It has to be in a tab to share audio. That sucks. Oh, well. For now, we have some Diplodocus. This is the long dinosaur. Not really tall, but really, really long. One of the most famous sauropods, and of course it's completely in shadow as it leaves the hatchery, because of course it is. Oh, hold up, folks. We have another donation. Oh, yep, we have another. Okay. Look. You know what, Tsunami? You got your wish. Jester just donated for Jennifer and Marlin. Oh dear. Okay, let me find Jennifer again. Were you? But was this one Jennifer? I think this one was Jennifer. Okay, we have Jennifer. Which one did you want to name Marlin again? Sorry. Here, Tsumami, do you want to name this one Marlin? Oh, that. The one I named Jennifer was Marlin? Okay. Marlin? Okay. Okay, so who's... Was this one Jennifer, then? I think it had the green stuff? Oh, we have a dino on low health. Oh yeah. Since they can't hunt, I need to add meat feeders for the carnivores. Oops. Okay. Jennifer can be the lovely brown one. Got it. Not that one, I don't think. It was brown with green stripies. There you are. Hey, I'm not starving them now. Now they have food. There we go. We have Jennifer and Marlin. Thank you, Jester. Thank you for making Tsumami's dreams come true. If any... Oh, we also got... we got a $5 dono. Regios gave $5 to name Jennifer. Okay. Well, Jester kind of beat you to the punch. I don't know, Regios. Do you want to name a dino? You can name any of the dinos we've done so far, or any other Morrison dino that I'll be putting in. And actually, speaking of things, we have reached our first goal for tonight. We've hit the $50 goal for tonight. So we can talk about some interesting dinos from the Morrison. which we're already kind of doing. But there are some pretty neat things. Sugar plum. Okay. If it's okay with Regios, we'll name this one Sugar Plum. Anyway, Brachiosaurus is a pretty interesting dino. Obviously, it has longer forearms than it does rear legs, which is really not a common thing, especially in dinosaurs and sauropods in particular. Oh, okay. Regios says Sumami can do it, so Sugar Plum. Sugar Plum is looking for food. Sugar Plum needs nuts. And I'm just gonna say that and let it hang in the air as I place seed plants. Yes, thank you, Regios. Anyway, Brachiosaurus has longer front legs than it does rear legs, which is how it got its name. It literally translates to arm lizard. The species name means species name is altithorax, so kind of deep chest or tall chest. So it's the tall-chested arm lizard. This dino works out, I guess you could say. It's also part of the lineage of dinosaurs that eventually led to titanosaurs. So some of the actual biggest dinosaurs of all time. And for actually many decades, Brachiosaurus was the largest known confirmed sauropod, which is pretty cool. That said, if you see a Brachiosaurus in popular media, it's probably not Brachiosaurus, because most of the ones you'll see are based on a dino called Giraffatitan, which was related, very closely related actually, so much so that it used to be a species of Brachiosaurus, but more research has shown it to be distinct enough to be its own genus. And what's coming out of the hatchery now is called Marapunisaurus. And it's actually kind of funny, it came out at the same time as the Amphicelius was walking over, because they're the same animal. Amphicelius, this huge dino here, is based on Edward Cope's reconstruction of the animal as a diplodocid. So, like Diplodocus. He basically just made a supersized Diplodocus. Marapunisaurus, on the other hand, is a reconstruction based on a different group of sauropods. I think they're called the Rebeckiosaurids, which are chunkier in the body and a lot shorter. So instead of it being the biggest dinosaur ever heard of, it's still big, but reasonable for a sauropod. And no, the Camarasaurus is not dead. It's just sleeping. They need to sleep. They need their beauty rest. So where are the... There's the Allosaurus. I was wondering where they went. No, and I actually just realized we should probably get started on more dinosaurs. Let me just check the GoFundMe super quick. Okay, yep, last one was that $5 dono. Okay, we're good to go. So, there's Marapunisaurus, but that is definitely not the last dinosaur from the Morrison Formation. There's quite a few others. And in this game... Oh, come on, I just gotta get... No, not Repetosaurus. Ariosaurus... Yeah, I have a lot of dinosaurs in here. Yes! Speaking of big famous dinosaurs. we have Stegosaurus, of which I am only going to be making the 1997 skin. Because the other one is awful, frankly. It's one of the few modded dinos. Well, it's not a modded dino, but I kind of wish it was. The crazy-mouthed one, Tsumami, that was Marapunisaurus, I think. Unless you're meaning in this, in which case I'd need a bit more info, because there's a lot with kind of weird mouths. Yes, all stegosaurs are named Spike. I can agree with that. Okay, down. Second from the left. This one? Or this one? Tarbosaurus or Stomatosuchus? Smilosuchus? Is it this croc or this croc? Stomato or Smilo? Smilo, okay. Smilosuchus is, I want to say, a crocodiliform from the Triassic. Yeah, I can breed one quick. Well, breed a few quick. Yeah, Smilosuchus. Some some prehistoric animals get interesting names. We also got some Torvosaurus cooking. Stegos, Spike, Spike1, Spike2, Spike3. I see, Lunar Regolith. Honestly, I've definitely heard worse names. You know what? We can make a Triassic enclosure after this, actually. Yeah, here you go. Here are these things. Yeah, they got some chompers. Oh, camera's not wanting to behave. But yeah, they got some teeths. And now, Stegosaurus. Yes, Lunar Regolith. I have a Gorgonopsid mod. Because why not? Oh. Ooh. Oh wow, wait, we got a pretty one. Hello. Dang, look at that one. Like this one is gorgeous. But I think it's time to scare these dinos away from the hatchery. With the largest predator of the Morrison Formation, as it clips through a Stegosaurus. This is Torvosaurus. It's a larger relative of the very famous Megalosaurus. And it's also very fragmentary. We don't have much of it, at least not in North America. But it appears to have been one of, if not the largest predators in the formation. So in most of Western North America for a very long time. Micriensis, Tyrannosaurus micriensis, is much younger relative to all these guys. And actually, I just realized I might have skipped over a dino. I did. So this one, actually, the one coming up, is kind of controversial. This is called Saurophaganax. And some people think it's its own genus of dinosaur. Other people think that it is just a big Allosaurus. There's a lot of debate back and forth on it. And I don't know where I stand. I do not have near enough experience to say anything for sure. But it is cool. Even if it is just a big Allosaurus, Allosaurus is a really cool dinosaur. Oh, sorry, the Stegosaurus just flopped over. Oh, it's stuck. Oh, that was great. I've never seen that before. Oh, that was adorable. Anywho, time for the murder machine. So yeah, Saurophaganax. It is huge. In fact, I believe most estimates rival Torvosaurus in size. So they're a pretty big dino. But cool to see. And that is the Morrison Formation. I mean, more or less. If I recall, I did set a goal for the chat to decide a second formation. Oh, and Ember is back. Hello, hello.
Hello. Yep, I'm in between thingies. I'm waiting for a thingy to show up, but I also have to paint my nails, so I've got a few minutes.
No problem. See, while you were gone, we got $75 total donated.
Oh shoot, maybe I should just stay off. You seem to do a lot better without me here.
No. It was funny how that worked.
It's pretty neat.
Oof.
So I heard the tangent about Sailor Moon. I feel like there should be more to that. I realize you don't know much about it. I honestly don't remember very much because I was like 17 when it was on Adult Swim. It was a while ago.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But I do remember the main oomph of the thing was the romance between Sailor Moon and hell, my first cat was named after, well, not my first cat, the first cat that I had with the kid's mom together. We named her Luna because the kid's mom was such a big Sailor Moon fanatic. I mean, I like Luna anyway because anything moon related freaking cool to me, but yeah, the relationship between her and Tuxedo Mask was like compelling, but also kind of creepy because he was like 10 years older than her and she was a minor or something. I'm trying to find out if there were any dinosaurs in Sailor Moon. That seems like a cool thing to talk about too.
How many series and seasons have there been? Probably at least one. At least a museum.
Seasons of Sailor Moon. 5 seasons, the Google says. The original anime series that ran from 1992 to 1997. 5 seasons.
Right.
And one of the 5 major story arcs in the manga, following the same general storyline and including most of the characters.
Oh, Tsumami says Tuxedo Mask was only a few years older.
Could be.
But also, I added a ticker. So if you want to name a dino, $5, $5 minimum, but every $5 you donate is another dino you can name. So you can name a Torvosaurus, something pretty doofy. You can name a Stegosaurus Spike. You can name the big thing. No one's named the big thing yet. And that was loud thunder right outside my window.
I heard a little bit of that.
You can name an Allosaurus Big Al, or you could name a Ceratosaurus Dapper. So yeah. Any $5 donos or above. Name any of the dinos whatever you want. Just if it's too spicy, I might not focus on them for long after naming them. Fair warning. On a side note, this one is pretty. I like the of course its face is in shadow now, but I like the purple bandit mask it has with the dark blue colors. It's pretty.
Now, will they prefer the food trays to, like, hunting down their fellow park members?
Oh, normally they would prefer to hunt, but I turned that off so I don't have to be constantly making new dinosaurs.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Also, how much would it suck if somebody sponsored a dino and it immediately got eaten?
Might suck a little, especially for some of the cuter ones.
Poor
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Sorry, this dino is just it's a pride flag. It's just a complete rainbow. Oh, it's Amazon rainforest. It's dressed up for the what's the big thing in Brazil? The big party thing that's also in New Orleans. Yeah, it's painted for Carnival.
Okay, yeah. The Carnivore and Carnival.
Yeah. Anywho, this is our Morrison Formation, more or less. Plus I guess these guys can stand in for crocodilians that were in the area. Because there were crocodilians there too. There were some small mammals, but most of what we have from the Morrison is huge, which is kind of surprising.
Is there some
a lot of fragmentary stuff too?
There's some kind of event or climate that would prefer big critters over tiny ones?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. So a lot of there's a lot of different environments preserved in the Morrison, but a lot of it seems to be floodplains and braided river channels. And depending on how severe the floods are, that crocodile is just running. Depending on how I guess. Depending on how severe they are, they can break up bones and mash them up. It's just weird. Like we see it in some other formations, but I think the Morrison is one of the most extreme examples of just a gigantic bias towards the biggest things in the ecosystem. Like, we have, I think, 50 or 60 individual Allosaurus. And then we have, is it two Ornitholestes? And then a lot of the other small carnivores are just teeth. Like, I think Dryosaurus over here is the smallest thing that can be said to be decently common in the Morrison. And it's bigger than a human. Like, it's about the size of a small horse. It's just really weird. Oh wow, it just kind of laid down and then bounced. But it's weird. Anyway, it is a tier to do a new formation, but honestly, we've been making some pretty good progress so far. Here, hold on, I might have. Okay, never mind. Sorry. We're doing pretty good so far, so I think it might be fun to start work on another formation. See some other dinos and other prehistoric critters. Let me just put a little fence here. And here to wall off an area. And we can get started on something new. Have I made any more progress on the dino bone? I have indeed. A lot of we talked about that for about the first half hour of the stream. So if you want to go back sometime and listen through, yeah, I made a big update. But for now, let's see. Or let me look through what dinos I have really quick.
So
Actually,
I'm looking through the Wikipedia list of the various dinos that have been found there, and there's one that really caught my attention called Marapunosaurus.
Yes, we have that right here.
Oh, the stupid big critter?
One of them. This is actually the smaller stupid big critter.
Aha.
So I went over this a bit earlier. I can do it again. Marapunosaurus is based off of, I believe it's still just one vertebra, like a single backbone. And that single backbone, I think, is about 6 feet tall, which is really freaking huge. Like, that's about the same size as the biggest titanosaurs. And when it was discovered in the 1800s, Edward Cope, one of the leaders of the Bone Wars, thought it was a diplodocid, like Diplodocus, a really, really huge diplodocid, and named it Amphicoelius. This dino here is actually based on his description of what he thought it would be like. And it is one of the biggest things ever. Like bigger than most titanosaurs, just absurdly gigantic. The original bone's been lost, but we do have some pretty good drawings of it. So much
like
later
there might
on,
even be photos.
Maybe, I'm not sure how good quality they are, but we do have some pretty good drawings. And for all his faults, and there were many, Cope was a really good artist. And based on those drawings, the animal has been reclassified as a different group of sauropods called Rebecusaurs. And this animal here, Marapunosaurus, is based on Rebecusaurid proportions. So while it's still absolutely gigantic, it's not as absurd as Amphicoelius.
For sure.
Now, how the hell does someone lose a 6-foot-long bone?
Right?
Easier than you'd think, especially when you're dealing with hundreds of them and your frenemy, aka rival, is destroying a lot of the bones that you do find. Because they're called the Bone Wars for a reason. It was not pretty. And
so it
honestly, by the end,
could have been legit lost. It could be misplaced somewhere in a museum, or some asshole actually destroyed it.
which would not have been the first loss of the Bone Wars. Not by a long shot. Yeah, Cope and Marsh, the leaders of the whole thing, were not fantastic people all around. Cope was he was a massive eugenicist.
Awesome.
Yeah, in fact, I believe he contributed to the founding of one of the big American eugenics societies. And Marsh did some not so great things too. He wasn't as bad of a eugenicist, at least as far as I know. And to his credit, he did found Yale. He founded Yale, and apparently he actually was instrumental in securing some rights for Native Americans in America, which may have been self-serving because they were letting him dig on their land, but I guess the ends were good, even if the reasoning wasn't. Anyway, all that said, we can make more dinos now.
Fresh dinos.
Yes. So for these dinos, we're going to be moving up in geology. We are going to be looking at... Ooh, that's cool. We are going to be looking at the Cloverleaf Formation, which is a rock formation just overlying the Morrison, which is where I'll be working. So I'll be seeing a lot of the Cloverleaf too. And there's a lot of interesting dinos from the Cloverleaf. Most aren't as famous as those from the Morrison, but there's probably at least one that folks here will recognize. Just gotta randomize the skin.
God problems. I need to randomize the skin.
You can't have them looking the same. I wish for variety. Let's see, what else? What else can I... There are a few things that I can put in here. I'm just trying to... For you... No, not Nodosaurus. Sorry, I'm just going through, like, my brain. Because there are several... Here we go. Sauropelta, I know, is from the Cloverleaf.
Aha.
Then we have... we do have Tenontosaurus, which we can also put in here. Actually, the most common thing from the Cloverleaf. And we can have a stand-in for a ornithomimid that is also known from the Cloverleaf. And I think that might be it.
Is that like a proto-ostrich?
I mean, they're called bird mimics / actually Struthiomimus, literally ostrich mimic.
Huh.
Which is kind of fun. Sauropeltas, get them going, and Tenontosaurus. Let's see. If I recall correctly, the Cloverleaf is more swampy as compared to the Morrison. So I can have a bit of fun here. Whereas the Morrison is more braided rivers and complicated channels. The Cloverleaf's a lot wetter. And
More moist, you say?
I believe, huh?
More moist, you say?
Oh, something to that effect. And it's also slightly younger, so there's a lot of plants that are more familiar to those we have today.
Aha.
I think maybe some Tempskaya for background. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, and I'm not going to highlight it, but an old friend is in the chat. Hope you do better soon, mate. Hope things get better. For now, though, these are Tenontosaurus. So this is an animal bigger than a rhino, but was actually fairly lightly built. Probably would have been pretty good at running. And honestly, I like them. I think they look kind of goofy, but I like them.
Look familiar. I don't know if you remember the dinosaur TV series hosted by Art Bell back decades ago. Oh, shit, a long time ago. It those guys were in there with eggs and things. Dramatic recreation of. I
I've
can't
never
remember.
seen
There
it,
was
but
a
I've
threat to the
heard of
eggs.
it.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever came across Art Bell. I was a child at the time, and when I finally discovered Coast to Coast AM later, I was like, I know that voice. And there's still crazy people talking about the dinosaur man that was speculated about in that series.
Oh, that's where it's from?
Yeah. Well, there were fringe scientists talking about it back then. I don't know. I guess some people grew up watching that and kind of took it as fact. Because the way it was
Oh.
presented in the series is if dinosaurs hadn't died out, then with 65 million years to work with, we might today have a dinosaur man. So it wasn't presented as fact at all, but people used pictures from that series today to create the kind of bad science content that Maya and Dr. Tap debunk.
And me. Oh yeah, we have talked about that before, the Dinosauroid.
Oh, has it been on this channel?
Yeah.
It is fun shit. I speculated when I was younger that maybe the dinosaurs did evolve, maybe not into humanoid shape, but to the point of intelligence. Because if humans died off today, we'd leave virtually no record in the geology. All of our shit would be gone in 1,000 years, except for the nuclear age.
I don't know about that. I think humans are going to leave a irrevocable mark on the planet.
Well, there's that whole extinction level event thing of our spread across the face of the globe.
that minor
an
thing.
oof. But it occurred to me as a child that if dinosaurs had developed tool use level intelligence and saw the asteroid coming, there's a chance that they may have made spaceships and gotten the fuck out of here. And then they didn't know how long it would take for the Earth to become habitable again. So they went off to, maybe Alpha Centauri, maybe Barnard Star, maybe somewhere else. Built a colony, hung out, waited several million years, and then came back to see what the Earth, how it looked. And oops, we were already here. And that's why the aliens look so much like those dinosaur man pictures, because they are freaking dinosaurs.
I mean, it's a neat idea, but I don't know.
Yeah.
For now, though, one thing I do know is people are about to see something that's a little familiar.
Should we be playing trumpets?
I didn't mean for that reason, but that's true too.
We can always use a little John Williams adjacent soundtrack.
True. But behold, Deinonychus anteropus as it flees. As it flees, I guess.
Got some speed. So what are the
Yeah.
protomoles for? Like what biological use do they serve?
Actually, quite a few. Wings, it turns out, when you're running, are just good for helping you balance and turn. They can help cushion falls or improve jumps, especially improving your control in the air. And they're really good for brooding. So when animals sit on their eggs, if they need to keep them warm, they need to keep them warm. And the wing feathers really help with that.
Okay, yeah. Mittens,
Also, when you're really
like mittens or blankets.
kind of, and when you're really small too, you can actually use them to just like run up slopes or trees. But
okay, yeah, more surface area, sure.
This is Deinonychus anteropus. In other words, me. This is where the dino part of the name DokDeino comes from. Because Deinonychus. So if anyone wants to name one of them Doc, feel free. And then lastly, I released a different one earlier, but here's the apex carnivore of the Cloverleaf. Acrocanthosaurus. Yeah, it is massive, rivaling T-Rex in size, and most likely built for taking down sauropods. In fact, for anyone who's familiar with Carl Baugh's Creation Evidence Museum, that is in Glen Rose, Texas, which is where we have a bunch of dinosaur tracks, including a set that appears to be from an Acrocanthosaurus chasing down a sauropod, like mid-hunt, which is kind of crazy that we have that at all. And I don't have that specific dino in the game, but I can release a close relative, like the sauropod it was chasing. Oh, and let's see. Couldn't be a Deinosuchus. I mean, I thought of it being a Dr. Deinosuchus when I first started the channel, but Deinonychus felt more fitting because I like to talk a lot about dinosaurs. And why no floofy dinos? There are floofy dinos. Let me find one of the. Actually, we have a few in here. We have Struthiomimus as a stand-in for some ornithomimids that were in this formation. And we also have Deinonychus, which is floofy, thanks to a mod.
Mm-hmm. Floofy mods.
Let's see, and we have someone asking if Acrocanthosaurus is a Carcharodontosaurid. It is. It is a basal Carcharodontosaurid. So it's actually closer in time. It's very close to Allosaurus in time. Just a lot bigger and a lot more heavily built. And we have two different versions. We have this one that is a modded version of the base game one, and a completely from the ground up rebuilt version from a very talented mod maker for the game. Master Doot, I believe, is his name on Nexus. Nexus mods. And here is our stand-in for Sora Poseidon, Giraffe Titan, aka the dinosaur that. Well, I mean, Ember, what do you think this thing looks like?
I don't know that we can say on YouTube.
What dinosaur does this look like?
It's Brontosaurus-ish. I'm not super knowledgeable in the ways of the dinos. I only know basic stuff.
Well, this is Giraffe Titan. It is a very close relative of Brachiosaurus. And most reconstructions of Brachiosaurus that you see are based on Giraffe Titan. Because it's known from much more complete remains. All the Brachiosaurus we have are very fragmentary, but we have most of the skeleton for Giraffe Titan. And right now, they are standing in for Sora Poseidon, which is another brachiosaur that was from this formation, but even bigger than Brachiosaurus when fully grown. It was huge.
Why are their necks so very, very thick?
Sauropod necks were like that. Like we used to draw them really thin and noodly, but no, it looks like they were just thick with like 5 C's. And that gets really absurd when you get into Titanosaurs. But that's how they looked. Actually, I believe one of the versions of Apatosaurus I have shows that pretty well. Because Apatosaurus has some huge neck vertebrae. In fact, they're so reinforced that it's hypothesized that they might have had like keratin pads at the base of their neck vertebrae. And some people choose to illustrate those as spikes, which I think is pretty cool.
I mean, dinos with spikes are always cooler.
Yeah. Oh, we have just gotten a $25 dono. So so Dad is bored because I know that's you. You get to choose a sticker for me to put on my car while I do field work. Just make sure it's something that won't get me shot, please. And you can also name a dino and ask any question you like. So feel free.
And do a tangent.
Well, the question/tangent are kind of fused together.
Oh, okay. Questions and tangents.
Yeah.
A tangent causing question, therefore, would be the optimal question.
Fair. Oh, Pokeball. Yeah, I can do that. And then if there's any dino you've seen that you'd like to name, feel free. You seem to like the Acrocanthosaurus.
I'd name that one Buzzsaw.
The Acrocanthosaurus?
Yeah, it's like I want to pick him up and like start chopping down trees with his back. I mean, I don't like chopping down trees, but you could.
Well, this one's a Apatosaurus, but yeah, I see that. Yeah, I was meaning this is the acro. It also sits like it should, actually, which is pretty cool. Oh, it's getting all sleepy.
Yeah.
Kinda, but I like it.
Yeah.
Sir Dinus Maximus the Scaly. Let's see, will it fit? Holy crap, it fits. Well, okay, it's Sir Dinus Maximus the Ska.
The ska, because he's punk with a trumpet.
Hey! Yeah, it works, it works.
All right. So if there's no humans, who's riding your monorail?
Ghosts, I think. Oh, and got another dono. This one also looks like from Jester. Oh no, it just says see the chat, so I'm concerned.
Uh-oh.
And it was a $10 dono, so let's see. Jester can request a tangent, ask a question, and or name a dinosaur. Oh no, there are people. Um. That
That seems safe. Nobody tell OSHA.
Okay, so Jester says, name a giraffe titan Lisa. Okay. Oh, Lisa the giraffe. In that case, this one's colorful.
Yo, the rainbow giraffe. I love it.
And then need to see a prey animal.
No blesses.
See a prey animal get eaten. I'm not sure if. Oh no, it's just going for meat. I thought it might be hunting. Well, I have the hunting off, so all the herbivores don't die. Oh, hello, Stegosaurus.
You need to put in like a dino crossing. Not that the humans seem to care that, 24 of them have just been trampled.
No, that's funny. Normally in the main game, they'll just get tossed away as soon as they touch any dinosaur, even if it's a tiny thing. I don't know. What would be a good dino for a Kentovine? Like, it needs to look like old and withered. That'll do. The ugliest creature I have.
And so basic, basal is in its name.
Yeah. Oh, Hovine like bovine. Well, I mean, they kind of look cowish.
My pun deserves blood.
Deserves blood. Fair enough. Will Basilodon do? They're spiced. They're pre-spiced. And then what? We can just let the Deinonychus eat them, I guess. Well, I mean, I guess we'll see what eats them. Here, this one will probably look like it has a Hawaiian shirt. Let's see, dinos. You know what? Let's turn on danger to guests.
Oh, good.
Combat frequency, yeah, on. Okay, here we go. This is going to be disastrous.
Yes.
Okay, how long till someone dies? Oh, there they go. Oh, Oh no! No! Ah, it's going after the Marapunisaurus. Ah.
Did it get stuck?
No, the animation has to line up. Oh, wow, it doesn't even look like it has a Hawaiian shirt. It looks like it's diseased. It's so ugly.
Old.
Born
Like
old and
me.
ugly.
I was born old.
Oh yeah, I guess the name does translate to King Tooth. Oh yeah, and I need to change the name. There. Kentovine. Jesus. I don't like to talk bad about mods, but this one really is so ugly. But that might just be the animal.
Yeah.
Because it's not a very pretty kind of animal. Oh, and we have Caden. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh, Jesus, we have a death.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, the Smilasuchus is spazzing.
What the hell?
I don't know.
What is Smilasuchus doing?
I don't know. Oh, it's going after Marapuni again. I guess. Oh, how old were you when you realized the 90s was the last great decade of cartoons? I'm not sure I agree with it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean,
like there are some good cartoons, at least from the early to mid 2000s.
Depending on what you like in cartoons, like, you know, there's Family Guy for you know, American comedy cartoons. There's all the anime, Full Metal Alchemist. I'm not sure when that was drawn, but you know, that's fucking magnificent.
Oh, are we being hunted? Oh, gee, it even runs ugly. Just, like
Pentasaurus
one half of its
Bovidine
face.
needs a tie.
It's trying to wag its tail, I think. I forget. What does this count as? It does count as a therapsid. Wait, is it? Oh my gods. It's fighting the acro.
Dead. 0%.
Died in a fight with Sir Dinus Maximus Ska.
Killed by a punk.
Perfect.
Nom.
Did that sate your lust for blood, Jester? Now I'm gonna turn off combat.
Now that we've committed a sacrifice. Hell yeah.
Yes, Jester, you did this.
Look what havoc you
wow,
have
so many dinos have died. Oh no.
But it's for a good cause. Because, I mean...
no, Sugar Plum!
What? How? How?
Jester giveth and Jester taketh away. He named Sugar Plum and Sugar Plum has died. Because he wanted to kill. We also lost an Apato. Oh, and all the Smilasuchus are dead.
They're extinct.
Oh, well, they're dead now. The Ceratosaurus knew they didn't belong.
Oh my.
That was good.
But now, in a
Wait,
few million years,
oh no,
there
it
will be
was.
fossils for you to go dig up.
Sorry, right? Jester didn't pay for Sugar Plum. Regios did. Oops. And to answer, Dad is bored. Bacillodon, I believe, is a Dicynodon. Yes, it is a relative of Lystrosaurus.
Lystrosaurus, the Dicynodon that took over the world.
Yes, it did. You know, maybe. We can do a late Triassic / Permian place now. So we might be able to.
Noah's flood would have been way more accurate if the creationists had Lystrosaurus take over the world shortly after the flood.
I mean, yeah. The world isn't on fire and filled with acid anymore. How am I supposed to survive?
Oh no. Well, there's good cartoons, even for kids now, like Owl House. I know they canceled it, but it was recent. And I don't know. I don't really watch kids' cartoons, but I know there's some fantastic stuff out these days.
And
like there's tons of anime too, if you count anime.
I somewhat count anime, but I don't watch much.
Oh no, one of the Deinonychus ran over here.
Flee!
Dino, Din, and Sue.
Okay, so Dicynodon, yes, it means two or double dog-toothed, which is a weird name, but they're really weird animals. And yes, Sugar Plum was one of Tsunami's name requests. So even if you didn't pay for Sugar Plum, I mean, the jester still taketh away.
Jester does have a way of causing chaos.
We need to name a Tyrannosaurus Terry so we can have the Dinosaur King dinos.
Oh dear.
Well, then we'll have to name a Triceratops Chomp.
Let's see. Did Dinosaur King have any from the Triassic? I know none of the main dinos. I thought Gojirosaurus was Jurassic.
Gojirosaurus is Triassic, and it's debatable if it's valid or not.
Huh. Well, fair enough.
Because, a lot of the remains are, either from multiple different specimens, different species, or are indistinguishable from other coelophysoid remains.
Of course. Of course. Of course they are. You get a cool name like Gojirosaurus, just has to happen. Name has to go out the window.
That said, I believe Syntarsis is now valid again.
Really? It's not still Megapnosaurus?
So what happened is that the genus of beetle that was initially called Syntarsis has since become invalid and lumped in with another genus of beetle. So that name is free up to be used for the genus of dinosaur again.
Huh. Well, I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. Syntarsis is a cool name, but interesting. Also, I'm just going to move this Deinonychus so it doesn't starve to death. I don't know how it got over there.
He teleported.
Oh, and for the sake of those who care about accuracy, like me. The dinosaurs in this enclosure, well, creatures in this enclosure, are going to be a mix of late Permian and Triassic animals, because I don't really have enough for just a Triassic or just a Permian enclosure. And they, like, members of each group lived at this, well, similar times
Well,
in similar places.
mm,
I mean, for most of them, like, we have coelophysoids from, like, aren't the earliest ones like 230, 240 million years old?
I think the earliest are from 220 million, about the same time as roughly the setting of the first episode of Walking with Dinosaurs.
I know Coelophysis boweri is, but I thought there were earlier coelophysoids. I mean, I could be wrong.
I think Coelophysis bari lived roughly 10 million years after the setting of that episode.
No, I think boweri was 220.
I think that might have been the controversial C. arizonensis.
I mean, what are the Ghost Ranch specimens considered? Because Ghost Ranch,
The Ghost Ranch
is 220.
C. bari, I think.
And I'm pretty sure that site is dated to 220.
I think it's a little younger. I would have to check.
Okay, Google's saying 200. Huh. I don't know. I'd have to read up more on it, but I think Procompsognathus is a coelophysoid now. Okay, Procompsognathus is from 215 million years ago, and it is a coelophysid.
Do we know what Dilophosaurus is?
I think Dilophosaurus bounces around a bit still. But it's not a coelophysoid anymore. I know that. I think it might just be an undifferentiated basal. Is it a tetanurine? Is it even a tetanurine?
All I know is it's like a basal theropod, but I think it's outside of tetanurines.
Let's see, going off of Wikipedia, it's at least a neotheropod. Oh yeah, I think it's a... I think it's in its own group of Dilophosaurids with Cryolophosaurus and Dracovenator. And Sinosaurus.
I don't know if from what I've read, it always seems Sinosaurus is kept outside of Dilophosauridae.
I'm not sure. Apparently the holotype is basically just fragments of the maxilla and the dennary with some teeth.
Ooh.
So I'm not. That might be questionable later. But I'm gonna have to just go off Wikipedia for now because I don't really have time for a full deep dive.
Yeah. Guys, the moon's out. Maybe Sailor Moon will come and save the dinosaurs from extinction.
I mean, she's a little late for that.
Well, she was being held captive for 60 plus million years. Give her a break.
Okay, anyway, so going off the cladogram on Wikipedia, Dilophosaurus is within a group known as Dilophosauridae, which does include Dracovenator and Cryolophosaurus. But Dracovenator is still fairly fragmentary. I think Cryolophosaurus and Dilophosaurus are the only ones known from good material.
Does anybody remember King the Cryolophosaurus from Dinosaur Train? It was basically Dinosaur Elvis.
Oh, of course he was Elvis. Well, at any rate, this was a stream about dinosaurs and stuff, so I hope people are enjoying what they're hearing. We've had a dinosaur on screen for about 10 minutes. This is Buriolestes, which is apparently a basal sauropodomorph, like Eoraptor, which is kind of neat. So this is from around when theropods and sauropodomorphs would have first split, so it looks like a theropod. It's kind of neat.
Still don't know where the earliest Orniscians come into play. Because we lack a lot of their fossils from the Triassic.
I mean, sadly, but the Triassic is old. But here's something that we do know what it is. This is Postosuchus, which people might remember from Walking with Dinosaurs. But here, it is shown correctly as a biped.
Now imagine you gave that thing forward-facing spikes and grew to the size of a skyscraper.
You'd have Zilla?
Yes.
No one donated for Shenron. I mean, hey, if you want to name a dino Shenron, Jester, you've already donated like $30 or $40. If anyone else wants to name a dino Shenron, it's $5 on any of the platforms.
Let's
Chevron, which is what they turn into after they've decayed and become.
Let's name a Rausuchian. Hey, look, it's Edaphosaurus from Walking with Monsters.
Yeah.
Photosynthetic dinos.
And also from a funny YouTube channel, which I wish put out more content. Caden, have you seen Rick Raptor 105?
Yes.
Have you seen the Dromies?
Yes.
Have you seen this year's Dromies?
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't surprised that Prehistoric Planet sweeped, but it's still fun to see, and he got a lot of people.
I honestly wish I was.
That surprised me.
I wish I was one of the hosts.
It'd be cool. Don't mind me, I gotta place plants so that animals don't starve. There are gonna be fruits in here which are inaccurate, but I didn't choose the diet for the animals.
The Veriform plant from Jurassic Park didn't exist either way. So
this species of Bariformin's been extinct since the Jurassic period. I still want to know how they got the plants. Like, what sorcery did you enact, Wu, to get plant DNA?
Obviously, Wu worked with Sailor Pluto to travel back in time. Because Sailor Pluto's the time senshi, so...
You
mean the mosquitoes didn't bite plants before they got trapped in amber?
Well, actually, male mosquitoes drink nectar, so maybe. Oh shit, maybe.
Ah.
Like female mosquitoes for dino blood and male mosquitoes for sap. Maybe.
Oh.
In other news, behold, the most absurd land animal I can think of off the top of my head. That was a real freaking thing.
Are you sure it was a land creature? It looks kind of
Yes.
aquatic-ish.
It looks like Doug from Godzilla vs. Kong.
This is Codolorhynchus. It lived before there were many large land predators. Can you tell?
Yeah, because it looks like a pot-bellied pig. With a lizard head and a long
But
tail.
the head is so tiny. Like, I could be wrong, but I think the head on this is oversized for Codolorhynchus. The head is so tiny.
Hey, I've seen weirder. I've seen paleo art of what people thought Atopodontatus looked like.
Oh, well, it looks like it is oversized. Let me get a good picture.
I think well,
Behold the actual skeleton.
It looks like it has a pinhead.
Such a tiny brain.
This animal lived before there were any predators on land. Can you tell?
It's made of sandwiches.
It is a sandwich. No, it's a slice of turkey left in the refrigerator that grew less.
Look at the bump in his head. Evolution, what the hell are you doing?
Hey, it's like when we found out that the ancient animals were hybridizing through time. This is what they did it.
Oh, of course someone has turned it into a D&D character.
Naturally.
Little skull.
But the head's way too big.
Teenage Mutant Cotylorhynchus. Teenage Mutant Cotylorhynchus.
Oh yeah. So one of the first big land herbivores versus one of the first big land predators.
It's like one of them was like, "Hey, you take the small head, I'll take the big head."
Let's see. Okay, I want to kill things. I'm the first predator in my lineage. I know. I'll eat their head.
It is an effective way to kill things.
Oh, by the way, how are you, Ember?
I think Ember was swallowed by the darkness.
What now?
Caden asked how you were, and you just didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought Caden was talking to you.
No, you said Ember.
Oh, well, I'm all right. A lot of stress in my life at the moment. Some of which I have to go to bed for soon, but I'm gonna finish painting my nails first.
Oh, guys,
Yahoo.
we got Phasalosaucus.
Yeah, and we also have a porpoise.
Porpoise returns.
After watching
Hello.
Dr. Jason Lyle, I thought we'd play a fun game called Are We Better at Math Than an Astrophysicist?
I've seen Lyle try to do math. I dare say yes. I'm doing bad at this.
So
also, so Caden, I do have Simasuchus. It's not going in this enclosure, but I do have Simasuchus.
Oh, dinosaurs, but
yeah.
So,
honestly, I think you could just sneak in the Indominus Rex in here and say it's a one of the smock.
I actually have smock.
Ooh, well, you should add it because it is from the Triassic.
I will. There was a pack on Nexus that came out recently with just a ton of Triassic animals. And there was Smock, there was Lysowickia, a bunch of them actually. So that's 26 times 2.
No,
I
that's
think that
Python notation for 26 squared.
Oh,
squared. Okay, I wondered what the
we
double
have
star was.
Platyosaurus.
yes, I've several species of Plateosaurus.
Offhand, I'd have to go with any even number, but I'm silly.
Well,
I mean,
apparently,
I'd imagine even. I'm guessing he didn't pick even.
Then neither of you would have gotten a degree in astrophysics because he said it was 677.
Well, I mean, he still argues that the speed of light has to be infinite as long as it's heading towards Earth. No matter its vector or orientation or whatever, it's infinite if it's heading towards Earth.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure fiber optics wouldn't work if that were the case.
Right. Among many, 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 many other problems. But, so I wouldn't get a degree in astrophysics at frickin'
wouldn't that make the speed
Patriot
of light
University
faster than the speed of light?
Sorry, just doing that math in my head. Would it be 676?
It is 676, but there's a reason you know it's not 677 right off the bat.
Yeah, you're multiplying two even numbers, you'll never get an odd if there's no decimal.
If you're multiplying two integers and one is even, the result is going to be even regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, that sounds odd to me.
I used to have Shantungosaurus in this game. I do not have it now. Sadly, it was for an older version of the game, and it hasn't been updated. Oh wow, Lysowicki, I can't wait to get out.
Lysowicki.
That one looks so
discovered how to
grumpy.
face through walls.
Yeah, so this is a giant Permian synapsid. A lot like Placerius, if you've seen Walking with Dinosaurs, actually.
Does this game let you breed dinosaurs?
I think both genera
Sadly,
from
no.
Triassic.
Ooh, I like the colors on this one, actually. But yeah, it's a giant relative of Lystrosaurus. I believe from Europe?
Yeah,
Germany,
Europe.
I think?
Lysowickia and actually lived at the towards the tail end of the Triassic.
Okay. Unlike Lystrosaurus here, which again, if the air wasn't sulfuric acid, it could not survive.
Well, then.
Which is why they took over the world after the flood. But the creationists don't want you to know that.
Well, I mean, the creationists want you to know that. The scientists don't.
Well, no, you see... Well, the creationists wanted to be that basically everything that wasn't a modern animal died shortly after the flood ended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sacrificed by Noah or whatever.
Because then they can't have them be so rare that people think they're dragons.
Also, I love this rendition of Plateosaurus. Like, it looks weird, but in the right way.
Now we just need a train station for Mr. Conductor from Dinosaur Train to come.
Well, how about these?
Hey, look, it's Phaseolasuchus, the quadrats from 65.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they have feathers?
No, these are crocodilians, actually.
But wasn't there that study that suggests that feathers might be a basal trait of all archosaurs?
Yeah, that is true. What? Why are you panicking? You're the biggest predator in the enclosure.
He's panicking because, you see, he found out that Queen Beryl escaped.
He
Is
just goes
it
right
just
around the
the
fence.
Lystrosaurus? I think it's scared of the Lystrosaurus.
That's fair.
Lystros-
Those fuckers are scary.
Well, you see,
But,
the Lystrosaurus are all possessed by Queen Beryl. Of course they're scared.
And then I have another Fasolasuchus mod.
Hey,
Which-
it has the Allosaurus head.
I think it might be a modified Allosaurus model, yeah. No, wait, no, the more I'm looking at it, I think it is just I think it's just an Allosaurus on the Iguanodon rig. Oh no.
It's an
Yeah, it's got the
unholy pair.
scars.
I think we should call this Iguanasuchus.
I mean, hey, that's not a bad name. Oh right, feathers.
Oh,
I mean, it
we
might have
have
had some
Josh.
feathers. I can't say for sure. All I can say is we don't have living crocodilians that express feathers, so I don't know.
better, is Rubidia a Gorgonopsid or a Theracephalian?
I believe it's a Gorgonopsid, but I could be wrong, and I'm open to being wrong because I know nothing about it. I just think it looks like a thing. Which, I don't know, Ember, do you have some sort of a phrase for when a thing looks like a thing?
Yeah, it looks like a maple leaf.
Yeah, that's all I have to go on.
Yeah, maple leaves are good.
Mm.
Alrighty, folks, I have finished my nails and I fucked about.
There's
So,
Smilosuchus.
I will bid you adieu.
Oh,
Okie doke. Have a good night, Ember.
Thank ya. It's good to see you back, Doc.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be back.
Yee. All right,
And,
toodles.
yeah.
I just wanted
No.
to wish.
Here you go, Caden. Here is Smock. We'll go ahead and get that
Ah.
started.
Just wanted to wish you luck on your fundraising thing, and
Thank you. We actually made a lot of progress tonight so far. Yeah, across all the platforms, we raised over $100 tonight, which is definitely some progress.
have a good night because I have got stuff I need to do too.
That's fair. Maybe it would be a good idea to start winding down.
Ah.
I guess I can release this crop of animals and probably call it good.
They look like ostriches.
Yeah. Oh, they sound really silly, actually. I can't make it play sound, but oh, they're on a Gallimimus rig. That's why.
Oh. On,
Okay, and then we have Schmuck.
which is a confusing genus, which is very fragmentary, and we don't know if it's a dinosaur or a possible Rausuchian.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also,
Oh, we got some teleporting.
oh no,
Oh, yeah, that is a Gorgonopsid.
the Gorgonopsids have unlocked their true Ninjago potential.
Let's
They're
see.
also running away from Kirby. Remember when Kirby tried to tell us that Cthulhu was Leviathan?
I do not.
Remember Off the Curb Ministries and his cryptids?
Oh, yeah, right. Never mind. I do remember that. And here we have Silosuchus, which is it's an odd genus. It depending on how Silosuchids or Silosaurids, one of the two, whatever group it belongs to, depending on how they shake out in the future, this might be one of the oldest ornithischians.
It looks honestly like it's on the baryonyx rig.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. We've already done Smilasuchus, so we'll see what Smock's like. Ooh. You're odd. They're definitely on a theropod rig. Ooh. They're doing the side-to-side sprints.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
I've been this place.
I've been in this
before.
place before. Huh. Nope, straight into the water. I want to know what is terrifying everything. For
Like I
real.
said, it's Queen Beryl possessing the 65 Phasalasuchus and Lystrosaurus.
I guess. And we just have one of the Phasalasuchus is out here.
Yeah, he's looking for his partner. He's looking for his partner, Deinonychus, so he can form the Dinosaur Avengers.
And actually, with how the back is sloped, I think this guy is on the Dominion Iguanodon rig, aka Mantellosaurus.
Ah.
Which, I mean,
I've just noticed that something I've noticed with like Rausukian depictions is that like they look like they have like the divergent digit is like become sort of like reduced to like a hallux digit, like a dew claw.
is odd. Oh, this has 5 fingers. It's 5 fingers and 4 toes. Which is definitely a primitive Archosaurian trait. Interesting.
Do you have Herrerasaurus?
Yeah, Herrerasaurus is base game.
Ah.
I do have a modded version of it, too. No.
What is the Paleontology doing?
Let's see, is this... I think it's on the or not. I think it's on the Coelophysis rig, because that's how they run. But its arms are just stapled onto its body. Here, let's see how the Herrerasaurus look, and then I'm
we have
probably gonna call it
Styracosaurus,
right.
another Triassic Herrerasaurid.
Is it a Herrerasaurid?
Yeah, Styracosaurus. It's a Herrerasaurid, a smaller Herrerasaurid.
I thought maybe I'm confusing it with something else. I thought I heard somewhere that it might be a basal Tyrannosauroid.
I think that's
Like an early Jurassic Tyrannosauroid?
I think that would be Santanaraptor, because Styracosaurus is only known from Triassic rocks.
Maybe. Yeah. Here's some Herrerasaurs.
Looks... Hold on, there's like a extra hallux digit on the where the 5th toe would be. See?
Yeah. Which, I mean, we have quite a bit of Herrerasaurus. That might be accurate. Because it's basal enough, it might be on its way to losing the 5th digit. Skeleton. Looking at a mount of it on Wikipedia, yeah, it looks like it has a 5th digit on the outside.
Ah. It only has 3 fingers, though.
3 finger. Three Fingers, I think it might have the fourth metacarpal still, but I could be wrong on that.
I
Honestly, looking at a mount of the skeleton, this looks 1-to-1 to me.
Yeah. Speaking of things, I'm sorry that you were having a hard time earlier. If you need any help, I am willing to provide it. Also, if you ever need someone to take over for the CSTs, I'm willing to take over when you are unavailable to do them.
Well, I thank you. I would like to stay as the host for CSTs, but I appreciate the offer.
Also, sorry.
All right. Sorry, my back's hurting.
Also, remember when we had the stream where we looked up the Winx dinosaur?
Yes.
If you ever need someone to make a series where we discuss anime and other weird stuff, I'm willing to be the co-host.
Maybe someday. Right now, I'm just trying to ease my way back into YouTube stuff. But maybe someday.
Well, take your time. Like I said, I'm willing to fill in any roles that you are unable to do while you're still easing your way back in.
Well, much appreciated, mate. I'll let you know if I need anything.
Okay.
But for now, I do want to say, for the people who are still around, thank you. We got a lot of donations tonight. Honestly, way more than I was expecting. We got, I believe, around $120 tonight. That's a lot of progress. And I'm planning on doing one of these streams potentially every Friday, at least once a week, until it's time to head out on the expedition. So, yeah, thank you again, and let's make some science happen. Y'all have a good evening.
Bye.